Thomas Beller, author of Degas at the Gas Station, is the son of a psychoanalyst who married the daughter of a psychoanalyst and then died young at 52 after an 8-year bout with blood cancer, leaving Beller fatherless at 10 years old. All his life, he's dealt with, as he writes, an absence that could not be challenged, only endured. His father's life remains forever elusive to him, a kind of epic cut short. Born and raised in Vienna, came to the U.S. as a refugee at 16 years old to escape the Holocaust, not without close calls, only to die before realizing himself personally and professionally. This heartbreak infuses the entire book and comes to greatest poignancy, I think, near the end, when Beller plays with his 6-year-old daughter, Evangeline, brings her to that highest plane of unbridled laughter, and is suddenly struck by what his father would have felt, suffering from a terminal illness, to play with him and make him laugh like that, and to know that soon that laughter would be ended. It's also about growing up on the Upper West Side of Manhattan when not only rich people could live there, it's about being among the last generation of kids who could roam around the city with relative autonomy, even at 11 and 12 years old. It's about how an apartment can resemble a long-term romantic relationship because of the many levels of life that exist in them. It's about how a place to live is not a job, but both are identities. It's about being a non-religious Jew. He writes, "I root for Jewishness like I root for the Knicks." It's about squabbles with neighbors. It's about Central Park. It's about getting punched in the face in the street. I think that happens 3 times in this book, or maybe twice, and once in his previous book, Lost in the Game, about basketball, which also impressed me. New Orleans makes a few appearances in Degas at the Gas Station. Beller teaches creative writing there, but New York outshines it. It's about how cities change like children grow. Nothing happens, and then all of a sudden it already has. It's about fatherhood, how children bludgeon you with the relentless reality of time. Evangeline, his furious little lollipop of a daughter, is the most delightful character in the book. She comes across like children do in J.D. Salinger stories. Think for Esme with Love and Squalor. Beller wrote a book on J.D. Salinger. He's had quite an impressive literary career. Staff writer at The New Yorker, author of 7 books. He ran the literary magazine and then press Open City for 20 years. Degas at the Gas Station is a memoir in the tradition of Speak Memory by Vladimir Nabakov and Burning the Days by James Salter. Episodic, meandering. The reader must absorb and assimilate the anecdotes, the riffs, the emotion without the help of a clear narrative line. Beller will only do so much work for the reader. The chapters, many of which work as standalone essays, are associative and reflective in nature, with a lot of lateral jumps and insightful asides, and which end like poems. If I have a bone to pick with the book, near the end, 4 cultural essays undermine the quiet but real narrative momentum. I believe that Beller could have included the autobiographical material from those pieces without the magazine-like cultural commentary, but I'm a purist. Some readers might like those chapters best. At one point he writes, "I do believe in magical realism, by which I mean the magic of realism, where you take the empirical and make it into a story, such that it begins to levitate. And in this way, you have a kind of mysticism." If you read Degas at the Gas Station with your full attention, if you shut out the world around you and slip into the rhythms of Beller's prose, you will experience some mystic moments. To point out 2, in the chapter titled How I Found My iPhone in New Orleans. He gets his iPhone swiped by a bunch of young kids when he leaves it carelessly on a bench. Then he tracks it down behind a pile of bricks in this sketchy neighborhood and replaces it with a copy of Huckleberry Finn. Their treasure transformed, he writes. And then he scribbles on the title page, I forgive you. Now read the book. The cops catch him in the act, and the dialogue is hilarious. Then, in a chapter titled Negative Space about Central Park, he includes a section about his sexual awakening that is so good that I did a separate video on it. I will share that after this 1-minute break. A quick reminder, to support the cause, you can always like, comment, or follow, or if my passion and insights about literature make you curious about my own attempts at it, there is always My Half Orange, a story of love and language in Seville, published by Tortoise Books in 2023, about the 10 most transformative years of my life when I moved from New York City to Seville, Spain in 2005, met a local woman, and started a family with her without hardly speaking Spanish. I plan to soon upload an audio version to Substack, Rants from a Foreign Land, John Julius Reel. Follow me there to receive all my updates by email. Thanks, good people.